coffee or a tea drinker? Do you want it hot or cold? And how would you like it served? Some like it black, others with milk and sugar. These two beverages are not just popular drinks, they actually have more health benefits than you think. The secret to maximizing their benefits is how you take either one. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez. You're watching MedTalk Health Talk on CNN Philippines. Coffee and tea are the world's most popular beverages, but there are many reasons why. To help us with today's discussion, let's welcome Dr. Helen Ong Garcia. She's a cardiologist from St. Luke's Medical Center, and we also have Ms. Luningning Caravana. She's a registered nutritionist dietitian from Dietitians on the Go. Thank you both for joining us on this episode today. Now, we're talking about coffee and tea, but essentially, the common ingredient in both is caffeine. And caffeine is what's also present in other drinks, such as sodas, as well as energy drinks. And it's the most consumed stimulant in the world. Now, before we talk about the effects of caffeine, first we have to find out how caffeine works. Dr. Helen, let's talk about that.
Caffeine works primarily as a stimulant. It actually works on several receptors in the brain that causes us to be more alert, more awake, more activity, higher heart rate, kaya ang response natin is actually better. So that's why a lot of people like caffeine because it's like our booster. It's our morning call. That's why I guess it's the morning call drink because of the fact that it helps us sort of jumpstart our body before we start an activity. So it's primarily a stimulant. So the stimulant would actually affect also your blood pressure to make it increase a bit, and then heart rate also. So for everyone's information, kung ako ay atleta and I want to actually start my day, I start with a warm-up, which ang main purpose ng warm-up is to increase my blood pressure and heart rate. And that's how caffeine works when it enters your body.
Pero Dr. Helen, there are some reports na caffeine is also known to reduce risks of certain chronic diseases. Is there any truth to this?
There have been a lot of observational data coming from different parts of the world that actually wants to look into the benefit of caffeine. Not caffeine per se, but coffee and tea. So an essential ingredient in the middle is caffeine. And they've shown that even with neurologic diseases such as Parkinson's, with heart diseases such as variable regardless of cholesterol, some issues about it may reduce hypertension. So when we want to give or recommend something, we actually look for randomized controlled trials. So when we say randomized controlled trials, tinry namin muna yan sa mga normal na individual. Tapos tinitingnan namin kung nakakabuti ba. Pero with the data or the benefits that I'm saying, most of them come from observational population trials, which means inobserbahan na isang body of people with hypertension and stroke, ito uminom, ito hindi, tapos napag-alaman, sa mga umiinom, meron about 15 to 20% reduction in the incidence of stroke, incidence of heart disease, and even incidence of Parkinsonism. So, medyo kung observational studies, hindi masyadong mabigat, pero there's a hint of a possible benefit coming from the drinking of coffee or tea.
And we drink coffee or tea to help us wake up in the morning or to stay up when we have to finish working on a project. And we drink them to help boost our energy level. But caffeine is also rich in antioxidants. Dr. Helen, palagi natin naririnig ito, no? Mga antioxidants. But for our viewers to understand the benefits of coffee as an antioxidant, first, ano ba yung mga oxidants at paano nagiging antioxidant ang coffee?
Oxidants kasi are substances that are formed in the body that has a tendency of causing harm. So nakakasugat sa katawan yung mga oxidants, mga stressors ang tawag yan. Kaya usong-uso ang antioxidants kasi when your body contains those oxidants or oxidized materials, ang tendency, meron kang parang substance sa katawan mo na nakakasugat sa mga ibabang parte, causing it to actually have some stress. So ang antioxidants actually vasodilates, nakakaluwag, nakaka-relax ng mga cells ng iyong blood vessels, and it has been shown na mga antioxidants could do that. At kung relax ang katawan, remember the process of aging is all about wearing your body down. So ibig sabihin, kung nakaka-relax, the tendency of wear and tear is lessened.
Now we're talking about coffee and tea, but I'll start with coffee first because many will say that coffee is more than just a drink. It's a culture, it's a passion, an art, as well as a science. Now, the average person consumes about 3 cups of coffee per day. Miss Lulu, how much coffee is actually good so that our viewers will know kung gaano karaming kape ang too much?
If we will convert it to cups, it's 4 cups or more a day. That's too much of coffee. But if that's less than 4 cups, that's okay. Kasi meron tayong recommended daily allowance of caffeine every day.
Again, when you think of coffee, the first thing that pops into your head is its ability to give you that energy boost. But with caffeine-containing antioxidants, it can do much more than that. Ms. Lulu, what are some of the other health benefits of drinking coffee?
There's a lot of benefits of drinking coffee. Like it reduces the risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease, as well as liver, uterine cancer, and cirrhosis. Also, it boosts the performance, the mental alertness, and for weight management.
Marami talagang umiinom ng kape, pero they don't normally take it black or wala ng ibang dagdag. Usually, lalagyan nila dyan ng milk, lalagyan nila ng sugar. Kapag ginawa nila ito, Miss Lulu, nandun pa ba yung mga health benefits ng coffee?
Let's say for black coffee, it's 0 calories actually, and you get all the benefits like the antioxidants, the polyphenols, and the rest of the nutrients that it has. But if you add milk, it really depends on the kind of milk that you will be adding. For example, you will be adding a regular milk, so it adds additional calories like 140 calories for a regular milk. For an almond milk, it's 30 calories, and for skimmed milk, it's 90 calories. Plus the sugar that you will be adding and the additional cream.
We always must be mindful also on what we add to that coffee. Now, drinking coffee is good for you, but too much of something can pose risks. You're watching MedTalk Health Talk, your connection to healthcare. Coffee is safe for most people if consumed in low to moderate amounts. Too much coffee consumption can have unpleasant and even dangerous side effects. We're together in health. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez. This is MedTalk Health Talk on CNN Philippines. Drinking too much coffee can have adverse effects. Now, Dr. Helen, we've been talking about the benefits of coffee, but what are some of the risks of drinking too much of it?
What are the side effects or what are the effects of drinking too much coffee? One is anxiety, one is palpitation, one is wakefulness kasi stimulant siya. Stimulant siya. So if you take too much, what you're supposed to prevent becomes a reality. Kasi yung sinabi kong palpitation, it could actually also prevent or promote hypertension issues. Kasi if you're anxious, you're alert, you're always wakeful, your body be going towards the stress level naman rather than the unstressed level.
Now, on the positive side, stimulants can give you a good mood, but having too much of it, with regards to someone's mental health, what's your opinion on this?
In any form of possible addiction, whether it's exercise, coffee, or anything, there should be a certain mental health or mental, fitness to handle this. So which means, yes, if you take it in directed focus, ika nga, ininom ko ito para magising ako, para makapag-aral ako, then it's okay. Alam ko dapat tumigil na ako by 3 cups, it's okay. But if it becomes something that replaces water, you might form hyperacidity pa on that start kasi it could actually affect your GI tract and it could affect the bones of women kasi it does actually affect calcium metabolism.
Mm-hmm.
So, too much of anything and the world is bad. So moderation pa rin ang key.
A lot of questions have been directed through women who are pregnant na bawal daw talagang uminom ng kape. Bakit kaya ito, Dr. Helen?
Ang women pregnant, as I mentioned, metabolism is also different. They have not studied even if, for example, does caffeine transmit to the baby. So, hindi naman bawal. I guess siguro again the amount. I think our OB-GYN counterparts will allow, pagbibigyan naman ng zero mga magkape, ang mga buntis. Pero yung amount is a little bit moderate kasi medyo ang takot mo maging stimulant. In the first place, the state of pregnancy, medyo mabilis na ang tibok ng puso mo kasi you're carrying a person. Pagdating sa pregnant women, anything that could affect the baby, whether it's a drug, a food, or a drink, we try to lessen or avoid.
If you don't want your sleep to get affected, is there a certain time of day when you shouldn't drink coffee anymore?
Yes, it really depends on your sleeping habit. Let's say you're working on a regular office hour, so might as well not to drink caffeine or coffee before 6 p.m. because it will really put your mental alertness, right? So it's better to avoid or limit drinking coffee before 6 p.m. Or if you're on a night shift, let's say you're working on a night shift, better off not to drink coffee early in the morning before the end of your shift.
If you're not a fan of coffee, tea might be your drink of choice. Like coffee, it's packed with nutrients that you don't get in many beverages. Ms. Lulu, what are some of these nutrients na nakukuha ng mga tao na beneficial sa mga teas? And could you give some of the health benefits na mga ito?
Yes, there are a lot of studies given or provided that teas really help in lowering the cholesterol, weight management, because it also burns fats. And also it has antimicrobial properties, as well as tea helps in regulating the blood sugar. So with regards to the compounds that we can find in tea, it's also rich in antioxidants.
Ms. Lulu, what are some of the side effects naman, kung meron man, of drinking too much tea?
It reduces the absorption of iron. Why? Because naturally, tea has a compound called tannin. And tannin binds with iron in our body. So yung absorption rate in our digestive tract is also reduced. So that's number one. And the number two, overconsumption of coffee also turns out to have anxiety and restlessness. Kasi diba, we are drinking tea to relax. So that's one of the purpose. But if you consume tea, that could be the side effect.
Now, there are many types of teas and each offer different health benefits. Ms. Lulu, I'd like to talk about which tea is good for certain conditions, starting with the benefits of drinking green tea.
So we have a lot of benefits from green tea because it's really natural and it's really fresh. So main purpose or main benefits of green tea is it also reduces the risk of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. It also gives good heart, or it also prevents cardiovascular diseases. And there are also studies that it really affects the brain. That's why the neurological disease like Alzheimer's disease is also prevented based on studies, by 60%.
What should our viewers know about herbal teas in terms of their benefits? At meron ba silang dapat i-watch out tungkol dito sa mga herbal teas?
Yes, there are a lot of kinds of herbal teas, like with chamomile, so it make us feel relaxed, if you want to sleep. But there are also just claims, but no 100% studies or basis that herbal teas helps in shedding off pounds or losing weight, or they say that it also helps in preventing colds. So there are also claims like that. We also have to check if the tea that we are taking has the compounds like sina, aloe, or laxatives, plant-based laxatives, because it could have more side effects.
Caffeine is an effective energy booster, but what should you do when you've had too much? More on this when you come back. Your health is our mission. Caffeine is generally safe, but everyone tolerates it differently. We're here to build a healthier future for you. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez. This is MedTalk Health Talk on CNN Philippines. Sometimes we just can't avoid it. We all need something to keep us awake, especially if you're closing in on a deadline. Dr. Helen, what should we do whenever we've had too much caffeine, whenever someone feels those symptoms, you know, they're getting palpitations, they're getting agitated, they're having a foggy mental state. What should they do once they feel those symptoms?
Very rare that we actually have actual caffeine toxicity. Because in order to get caffeine toxicity, which of course rare enough, you need to actually consume about, Lou could correct me perhaps, 1,000 to 1,500 grams per day. And that's a high level of caffeine. So in case you actually develop palpitation, anxiety, wakefulness with too much caffeine, supportive, you need to hydrate because may diuretic effect ang caffeine. So your tendency is to keep on peeing, and then that's also contributes to palpitation. Hydrate, and then after which probably relax, allow it to wash out of your body, and subsequent avoid any caffeine-containing drinks. And you have to be very observant about this. As mentioned, not only coffee and tea has caffeine, there are other drinks that has it, even in small amounts. Some of those drinks that we actually advise for people who have dehydration, so mga energy drinks or mga supplemental drinks for diarrhea, might have also some amount of caffeine.
My question, Dr. Helen, is it okay to take medications that lower your heart rate immediately? Because some people might feel, you know, agitated, they might feel fearful of the effects, and they might feel that it is okay to take some medication that lowers their heart rate. What's your take on this?
It is actually for the population that actually has a pre-existing disease. Let's say you have hypertension, you have a pre-existing palpitation already, then you took coffee and you felt the effect. I'm not saying that some people feels the side effect in about even the 2 cups kasi metabolism issue ito eh. So which means if I actually, let's say I'm a pregnant woman and I decide to take 1 cup, I never took it before because my metabolism is affected by pregnancy, mas matagal lumabas ang caffeine sa katawan, you might feel it. I would probably, whether pregnant or not, elderly or young, before you take any medication to lower your palpitation, consult your very nearby friendly doctor. Kasi baka yung medication pa magbigay sa inyo ng side effect kesa yung kape.
Now, Ms. Lulu, since we're talking about that, I think it's a good question to ask. How long does caffeine actually stay in someone's body?
Caffeine usually stays 6 hours after the consumption of tea or coffee, and the half of it stays 10 hours in the bloodstream. So better yet to think about before consuming your tea, because you might wide awake while waiting for the 10 hours para ma-drain yung coffee, yung caffeine.
Okay, so 10 hours is just an average. As discussed earlier, it really depends talaga sa metabolism ng isang tao on how long the caffeine will stay in your body. But around 6 hours is the average. And with that, it was a pleasure speaking to our guest today, registered nutritionist dietitian Luningning Caravana and cardiologist Dr. Helen Ong Garcia. Thank you both for joining us on the show. Now, caffeine is an effective and natural way to boost our energy levels, and to add to this, it offers a number of health benefits as well. But too much of it is not good for anyone. Be sure to always listen to your body and consume only what is recommended. Stay safe. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez. We're your partner in healthcare here on MedTalk Health Talk, only on CNN Philippines.